Louis, we have Lee, N7KC. James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. And from Clyde Hill, Carlos, 87NP. And myself, Dave, KD7ZYM. Is anybody else that wishes to check in? Hearing none, we'll start off our net with Ron, KD7QKU in Tacoma.
Okay. Well, good evening, everyone. This is Ron, KD7QKU in Tacoma. Another beautiful day. I have been working in the yard, probably like a lot of you. When we moved here, I put evergreen trees along the chain link fence and back. They're arborvitae, I think is what they're called. They started out about 6 foot tall, and now they're probably almost 7, 8 foot tall. But anyway, there was a watering system on them, and they put a hose down the back of the trees next to the fence, and then there was a little hose that came with a little sprinkler for each tree. And so I watered them for the first couple of years. I didn't water them last year. The trees that are next to the grass, they get watered by the grass sprinkler system. But the trees that were next to the gravel, where I used to park the motorhome, they didn't get watered, and so they kind of suffered last year. So I wanted to water them this year. But the guys that do my yard, they had got back there with a weed eater and pretty much destroyed the system. So I pulled all the hoses and pipes and little sprinklers out and salvaged what I could, and then put it together. I put it in front of the trees, so if they get back behind the trees to weed eat again, hopefully they won't destroy the watering system. And then it's on a timer. And of course, when you take the battery out of the timer to store it, and you put the batteries back in, it comes up to military time, 24 hour. Well, I had to program it. Of course, I had to get the instructions out. I couldn't remember how to do it. And I did pretty much get it programmed, but then I actually have two systems. I have some trees along the east side of our yard, along the fence, and I wanted to run those too, so I needed to add another program. But then I decided I wanted to go to 12-hour days. So I read how to do that, and then of course I had to reprogram every day and how long each sprinkler would run and blah blah blah. So I think I finally finished it today, getting it all programmed. So now I just have to make sure that it comes on in the morning and comes on in the evening. Runs about 10 minutes on the tree. So tonight it came on, so I'll see if it comes on in the morning, and if it does, well, then I'll consider it done. And then I don't need to run it all the time, but at least it'll be set to go when the weather warms up. So that was my big project. So back to net, KD7QKU. That was my big project. So back to net, KD7QKU.
WU7N. WU7N.
Thanks for that. KC.
W7ITL repeater.
I don't know. This is the whoops. This is
This is
N7KC
N7KC
Port
in Port
Angeles.
Angeles.
Dave,
Dave,
all I heard was a C. I didn't hear you call me, but you seemed like I normally come after Ron, and I saw you settle back, so I assumed to do it. I didn't hear that. And I wanted to ask Carlos a question. There have been interludes of audio here tonight, Carlos. They go faster than normal. Of course, I'm doing nothing. It's like they were in a buffer and they were clocked out a little faster to keep things, on track. But Dave got fast twice. And it was still understandable. It wasn't that fast, but noticeable. So I was curious if there's some kind of a keep up scheme and when something gets buffered, it gets clocked out faster. Nice day here. Oh, beautiful day. Wow. I am working on the floor job in the morning. Right now, my task is to get the. I'm going to get water for the new refrigerator underneath the sink, and since it's butted up against the cabinet or nearly so, I'm going to put a hole in the side of the cabinet and machine a grommet and JP weld it in, and then bring the hose through. So I'm doing that, and I can't put the refrigerator in until I have the molding up behind it. And also the metal plate that I'm going to set the darn thing on is not arrived yet. So anyway, I'm doing that in the morning, and I go out and work in the afternoon. To the best of my ability. We did get down to the hospital today for lunch. That's always fun. The view down there is just beautiful. Look right out over the bluff, over the hook, and Victoria, and all that off in the distance. So I don't have anything else right now. I'm going to stay about a half hour, and then I'm going to have to scoot out. But good to see you all night, and thank you, Dave. This is KC. Oh, guess what? Hang on, I'm going to just for the heck of it, put my picture up there. Let me see how long it takes to transition. Should be pretty quick, I think. You're thinking about it. There we go. Okay, all right, that all works. So back to you.
Let's move on to you.
Okay, first of all, I was hearing Lee over my computer with lots of intensive echo, but only like one phase of echo. It wasn't that never-ending loop of echo that you hear. Just curious to know. Then someone said they've got it working. Was that you, Carlos, or Wade? Maybe, I'm not sure. But so I stopped retransmitting Wade's, or I stopped retransmitting Lee's audio over 2 meters. So wait a minute. Here, let me see if I got something here. Hang on. Wade got something working there in the middle of Lee's transmission. So thank you all for the participation in this grand experiment. I really do appreciate everyone's effort and patience with it. Well, let's see. What happened with me today? I got training in a nano VNA. I read about them, seen YouTube videos about them. First time I really got my hands on them. There was a site where they've got 3 HF antennas on the roof. We thought one worked. Now I'm convinced none of them work. But now it's a little vector analyzer, and they're really slick. The larger one has a fairly large screen on it. You can program it to do stuff and capture things. Oh yeah, that's it. Oh, you have a version 4. Is that what the box said? Version 4? Yeah, version 4. Okay, well maybe I'll have to go up to the version 4. This was a version 2. Yours is an H4. So anyway, I learned a lot. I'll have to study what a Smith chart is. I mean, 40 years ago, I know I had to take a test for that sometime, but I've forgotten exactly how those work. So anyway, that was a very productive day. Learned a lot, and yeah, that is a big screen. Very nice unit there that Carlos is showing us. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to get one of those. I mean, it's just amazing what they can do. So anyway, we determined that, yeah, everything's broke, and probably they need to start at the tip end of the antenna and work back down to the, where you plug it into the transmitters and figure out what's corroded. I mean, they've only been up there, I don't know, what, 10, 15 years with absolutely no maintenance whatsoever. So they just don't build them like they used to, right? getting rained on and winded on, and to how many windstorms. I'm amazed that anything out there works at all, actually. That was the big activity of the day. Also got some exercise in this beautiful sunshine, and other than that, that was it pretty much. So this is James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. Let me turn it back to our net control for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Dave, take it away.
U7N, thanks for a minute and a half. Gateway to contact the Western Television Net. Again, this is Dave, Katie, the Western Washington.
Waiting for me, Dave, but all this not today. Everything is working. My video is coming in a little weak. All right. Well, that's about it. I'll hand it back to Dave. W7ITL back to net control.
And let's move to Carlos. AD. Say you, Carlos.
Let's see how many versions of my audio everyone's gonna get. Okay, hopefully only one. It's good to hear you all. It's been quite a busy week so far, but the weather does help, so that's always nice. I think Wade has the audio repeater going, so that's pretty good. So what's new here? I finally got my ICOM 905 set up, so that's pretty nice. This is the thing I like about this, which is really a very nice feature, is that I don't need many RF cables all the way up to the roof, because it just connects over a network cable here from the side, and then the radio is really up there. And that's the feature of ATV that it has. I haven't tried this with our colleague, but hope to see that working. Today I received the 5.8 gigahertz antenna that I'm going to add, and I think next week I'll get the 10 gigahertz antenna, so that should be fun. That's right, James, I do have the Nano VNA. I got the H4, which is it's a very nice unit. I like it very much. I finally received the part from PCBWay that I had designed to be in the back of the kind of the 3 for $25 amplifier that I had bought. Lee, this was this was just a copper part that I've not that I milled yet, but I do want to mill something like this. But I designed it for 3D print, and then I converted to G-code, and then I sent it to PCBWay to mill, and they sent it back. And I had all the screws and the countersunk exactly where I had designed it and where I had prototyped. So that was pretty nice. Happy with that. I think that's all for now. I will share more about some of the advancements on the next round. Back to Dave, KD7ZYM from 87NP on the DATV repeater.
This is Dave. In 3 days, my arms or my back get that sunshine. Keep from getting sunburned on top. So anyway,
Bit of sunset going on. So that's about what's happening here in Lake City. So I'm going to send it back up to the top.
Well, I guess I forgot to say good evening to everyone. Good evening. Nice to see everybody. So Dave's audio is broken up really bad. I only get like every other word. I didn't know whether he turned it over to me or not. Wade's audio was broken up really bad too, same as Dave. But everybody else, their audio was fine. So can you guys hear me okay, or am I broken up? I'm getting thumbs up. Okay, so I guess I'm fine. Well, I think it was yesterday, I guess, I had a call from Richard. So he, I think, was a little bored in the hospital, and so he called me, and gee, we must have visited for, I would almost say an hour, 45 minutes at least. We talked about race cars, we talked about football, baseball, we talked about everything. So it was a very good conversation. So, as you don't hear me? You hear me? Okay. So I'm getting thumbs up, I guess you're hearing me. So anyway, like I say, I had a good conversation with Richard, and Richard had to have a new port put in. He has to go on a different type of dialysis now. One where they filter the bad things out of his blood, and he said he was set up. Well, they've been doing it at the hospital, of course, but then he said he was set up at a clinic near where he lives, real close, so that will work out pretty good. Other than the fact he has to sit there for 3 or 4 hours while it's happening, but I guess that's the way it is. So let's see. Had a neighbor up the street come over tonight, or this afternoon, for a minute. He wanted to exchange phone numbers. I don't know him very well. His name is Ben. His wife's name is Karen. They're older than we are. He's 92, and he was out putting a power washer together. And he was putting it together. He was going to wash his sidewalk, I guess. Pretty good shape for 92, I would say. I thought he was anyway. His wife isn't too good. She's had some cancer and stuff. But anyway, it was nice of him to come down, and and set and visit profile. So anyway, that's it here. Back to net, KD7QKU.
KD7QK.
With that, this and for ID, this is let's
Oh, okay. Very good. N7KC, Lee again. Port Angeles. Well, and you can tell I'm missing about half of what Dave says. Some of what Ron said, and so forth. I also have the H4 VNA, which is just, and I updated the firmware here recently to the latest stuff, and it just added immensely to the features of it. Anyway, it's really quite a nice gadget. You can do some pretty serious work with it. I wouldn't give away my spectrum analyzer, but the two of them are very complementary, nice. Okay, I don't have frankly much else. I thought I'd hang here for a half hour and then get out and see what the missus is up to. But anyway, it's good to see you all night. And yeah, Carlos, that's a nice place that you have machine there. You should be able to do that sort of thing. The only thing that happens, if you have a lathe, the amount of tooling that you need for a lathe is fairly minimal. You have a milling machine. There's lots and lots of stuff that augments, and yeah, just an awful lot of stuff goes with the milling process. And so forth. The first thing you know, you'll be wanting to get a fifth axis for fifth axis and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, lots of fun. I'm really curious to see what you think of it down the pike. So I'm going to say good night to you folks, and I don't know what's happening Saturday night, but very likely I'll be able to be here. So yeah, everyone survived the week. We're supposed to have pretty nice weather the rest of the week. Oh, and by the way, I am using a Gemini, the Google's AI, on both the computer and on the phone, and it's a kick, frankly. We're having a lot of fun with it here. Paula said, I'm not going to put that on my phone, and I explained to her that you don't want to kiss this AI stuff off. You want to get in the ground floor. Not that we are, but anyway, close to it. Because it's very important in the future. Although I'm going to add this before I go. I was reading an article the other day, and the average AI server, the average AI server at a server farm, this is a rack of AI, can't be as high as 150 kilowatts. 150 kilowatts. And they're having quite a tussle cooling those things. They've got them submerged in Florida, electronic fluids. They've got two or three different schemes for heat exchange. And the whole idea is you got an awful lot of electrons going mighty fast. And even at low voltage, it just generates an enormous amount of heat and so forth. That's why these things are always located near some big power facility. Really big. So with that, back to you, Dave. This is NCKC. Good night, all.
N7 KC, thanks with that. And let's pick up Wade in Tacoma, W7ITL.
All right, I think I'm coming in okay. So yeah, a little bit of audio issues tonight, but I think we got them figured out. I think maybe Dave's video might be caused by some antenna alignment issues. But I got mine fixed. Looks like I'm not glitching anymore on my side. Carlos, I couldn't hear you very good, so I think you were showing your fabrication work that you were doing with your lathe for your amplifier. That was pretty cool. So to continue on what I was doing today, I did meet with my daughter, and I helped her with her passport application, get that all filled out, and we had a little bit spaghetti dinner, a little Italian dinner. And I did get a chance to go out and do some testing with DATV in the neighborhood. There was a couple hams at the Radio Club of Tacoma that were showing some interest in the club, so I did go out to their house, one of the guys' house, and I did a test, and I was able to get some video, so it's promising. So we might have another member, hopefully. Maybe he'll show up to the clubhouse on Saturday. I didn't catch him, so I just kind of drove by his house and did a mobile test with my rig, and it worked pretty good. So let's see, that's about it. Not a lot more going on other than still working on the Radio Club of Tacoma's DATV setup. I was going to try to meet with and we're still trying to work out a date, hopefully this week, where we can meet up, so we can get that transmitter receiver set up. Looks like we might have some interference, so you might have saw my video and my audio go out. I did notice that there was a big signal that was coming in. Let's see, that's about it, I think, guys. Everybody looks good. Nice to see Lee. I didn't really hear what Lee had, or somebody had mentioned something about, I think it was Ron had mentioned that he spoke with Richard on Thursday, but I didn't catch what he said. So I'm wishing Richard is doing good. Maybe you can fill in a little bit more, Ron, on the next round. All right, well, that's about all I got for this round. I might have a little bit more for the next round, but yeah, it's been kind of one of those days where I just don't have a lot to say. So I will turn it back to Net Control. Dave, this is W7ITL.
This is Dave. Call on James in Northeast Bellevue.
James, WU7N, Northeast Bellevue. I'm absolutely amazed at the technical progress in amateur radio around me and my life these days. Carlos said it's really impressive that you were able to, on software, write up a spec, send it to another company, and then get it actually, just perfectly milled to your specification. I can think of a lot of applications for that. I'm wondering at what point would they start asking questions, if you know what I mean. It might be fun to test the limits on that. There was a man who built a 4 replica of, I think it was a little boy. He built a full-size replica, and he only completed it, I think, about 10 years ago. And it's all made, of course, with wooden parts, and it's all taken apart. I think he donated it to a museum after he finished it all. And I thought there was some aspects of that design, I guess, that were still classified at the time that he made it, but he figured it out, which I think is absolutely amazing. So he figured it out and put it all together, and then went to, I guess, somebody and said, is it okay if I show this to everybody? And they said, oh, well, I guess you figured it out. So they did. And his full-size replica is now in a museum somewhere. So I wonder how they, I wonder if they care what you're milling, or if they even, could put it all together. Okay, well, the Discord for some reason dumped me, and now for some reason I just see Carlos in the lower right-hand corner. So I'm not sure what's going on with Discord right now. Anyway, on the low latency streaming side, I just see the spectrum analyzer. I don't see me on there, so maybe I'm not supposed to be seen on that. And I'm not using OBS Studio tonight. So anyway, it was kind of a mystery to me why. Oh, there's a big spike there right below 435. I wonder what that was. Anyway, I guess I will go ahead and turn it back to Net Control. This is James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue.
WU7N.
7N, thanks with that. And talking about Carlos, let's go to AD7NP, Carlos.
Oops. Audio on. You can hear me. So I'm on the mobile cam now. I'm gonna do some reporting from the check. So James is trying to convince you that all you need is a phone, and then you'll be able to transmit. This is the application Streamlabs, the same that Wade was using over the weekend. And so you can just configure it. And so that's the 905. That's my built-in amplifier. And that's my notification of the transmitter also. And the other thing I want to show you on this one, then I'll get to these questions, is on the building of the devices. This one is an all-star node. I will build a 3D printed case for it. It's basically a Raspberry Pi. It has this thing called the CM108 audio card. And then I built this is a micro amplifier. And this device will connect to an external microphone that I have somewhere. Here it is. And so I'll plug in the microphone into this board, and this will be able to listen also to the audio channel of the repeater. Okay, stand by. I'm gonna switch modes. And now back to the DATV repeater using RF. So many ways to get into the repeater these days, working really well. And to Lee's point on the data centers, I have multiple colleagues that work on that area, and there's some new racks on AI with the new Blackwells from NVIDIA that are now approaching 1 megawatt on the same rack. I mean, it's a super big rack, but you're right. I mean, this is quite close to the power supplies. We have, I don't know if it still allows visits, but the closest one that we could visit was on the near the Columbia Gorge, and I had a chance to stop by to visit that one, and it's quite impressive. My favorite feature of that one was, I mean, these days it's mostly SSD storage, but for the spindles that they use, no spindle, I mean, no hard drive leaves the facilities without being destroyed. And so they had a big honky machine to just destroy the all these hard drives, which was quite impressive. And that's it for now. Hopefully both transmissions reached, both the RF and Wade, I was able to get you. There were some interference, I agree. I do have a new UHF antenna also that is pointing at the repeater. I think I'm getting a better signal into the repeater now. I'm no longer using the satellite antenna. I just have an horizontal UHF from M2, which seems to be doing a good job also. Back to net control. Dave from 87 NP.
And it's time for another ID. Television. Shane, I'm Dave. See my part, but I This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the Ron, KD7QKU, KD7QKU.
Okay, this is KD7QKU again. Nice stuff, Carlos. You're always very interesting to see what you're working on, see what you have. So Wade, I think Richard is doing quite well. If you missed me earlier, he had a port put in him now so he can have a different type of dialysis. Sorry, I'm repeating myself, you guys, but he called me and we visited for almost an hour, I would think. We talked about the car that his father built and his house. So you probably don't want to hear all this stuff, but anyway. So what have I been doing? Other than working on the sprinkler system in the yard and reprogramming the control unit, that's about it. I did read the other day that as folks get older, it's really good for us to do those things. It kind of puts off dementia and maybe Alzheimer's and stuff, so I guess it's good for us to stay active. I tried to, I guess. Walked around the block today. It's a mile around. Carlos is showing us his antennas on his roof. Nice stuff. So anyway, I'm just sort of babbling here. I'll just send it back. This is KD7QKU in northeast Tacoma, northwest Tacoma, I guess I am. Back to net.
Again, this is television. I'm Dave, KD7. So let's back to Tacoma. Wade, what say you?
All right, guys. Well, I was going to show off one of my new devices I got. This. It's called a Mesh-tastic node. It is a LoRaWAN device that sends text messages over the LoRaWAN using a mesh topology. And this is using an ESP32 board. That has a little hat that's embedded that allows it to transmit on the 900 megahertz band. And with this little guy, it uses a special encoding. I think it's called pulse something. I don't know. I forget the exact encoding, but it allows it to transmit and be heard from very far away with very little power. This little guy I think only puts out maybe a couple hundred milliwatts, maybe 100 milliwatts. It's got a 3,000 milliwatt battery that I've attached to it. It's pretty cool. So right now I'm using my phone to do the video. I'm going to send it back to my regular video so you guys can see me. But that was this a little show and tell. See a little project I was working on. I've been able to pick up stations here me all the way to Everett with this little guy. I just had it mounted on my window with Velcro. All right. All right. Well, I'm back. That was my little gizmo I've been working on. I don't know. I was going to try to play around with Arden as well, Arden Mesh, which is a Wi-Fi mesh. But I was looking at my signal path to the closest Arden node, and it's looking a little troublesome. I'm about 35 miles away from a node that's got elevation high enough to reach me. So, playing with Mesh-tastic. That's about all I got. I'll send it back to Net Control. This is W7ITL.
Dave, James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. I have heard about the Mesh-tastic networks because that's supposed to be a big thing for MCOM. There were some discussions about putting networks of those up in cities, and you could use those with everything down because they only need a little battery, maybe a little solar cell to charge the battery. So that's the first one that I've ever laid eyes on. Looks like it's very nicely boxed up there, and I didn't know they used ESP32s in there. So I'm still playing with my Adreno and making lights flash on and off, so I think I'm a couple layers of technology away from doing something like that with it. That is amazing to me that an ESP32 can do that, can use a pulse width technology, ultra low power, ultra slow kind of thing. I recall that was being experimented with in the 80s or 90s in the Middle East for communications that people wish to keep private. And that's how I know something about that. And also there were some pager systems, I think, that were experimenting around with that before the pager market kind of went away. So anyway, that's kind of all I think I have to contribute to tonight. I think it's great that I'm still getting echo. That could be some kind of localized problem here with my PC, which I still need to just bleach the whole drive and reload everything. But other concerns have precluded the kind of time that I would need to put into that. Right now, I can see Dave moving occasionally on Discord, and Carlos is frozen. And on the Watts low latency stream, I just see the spectrum analyzer, and let me see. I hear myself with a delay and absolutely no echo whatsoever. That's on the digital side. So I don't understand why I'm hearing Lee with this tremendous echo, and I'm not hearing echo on myself right now. So anyway, that's I just got information here. If you don't want to solder and build your own, you can pick up a Meshtastic node for about $30. Interesting. Also, there's a website reference here. Thank you very much for that information. So that's pretty inexpensive. Well, this is it here for James WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. Let me turn it back to Net Control for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Anybody lurking and listening, we do this 8 p.m. Pacific, West Coast time, on Wednesdays and on Saturdays. Anybody's welcome to join us. You can come in on the digital side with Echo Link, and soon have other digital options too, it sounds like. So let me turn it back to our Net Control. Dave, go ahead and take it away.
You said Carlos and
All right, thank you, Dave and Annette. Yeah, everything's working. Yeah, this Meshtastic is quite fun. I have a Wade. I have a couple of devices also. I first started with this one, which is similar to yours. It's a LilyGo. This is on the 915. And I have another one in my bedroom because it's a higher position than this one. So this is just, it has a monitor like yours, and it has 3 buttons and can be powered. But this of course requires the phone to transmit the messages. And then I got hooked to these ones, and these are standalone. Oh, let's show on both cameras. This is just a pre-assembled board that comes with the keyboard and runs the Meshtastic. Let me show on this camera also. And this runs the Meshtastic software on it. And they come just with the board, and then you buy the battery for it. And then I 3D printed a case. There's many models that you can go and 3D print that basically puts this all into a case, and you put the battery on it, and then you have your own standalone communicator, your ham radio BlackBerry that you can go and build. And as you said, kind of the most popular, of course, it's on the 915 ISM bandwidth, but if you're a ham radio, you can also run LoRa on 433, which is in fact some of the signals that we see there on the left of our signal on the spectrum, which are the 433. And so, in fact, this one runs on 43 to 474 megahertz, but I just have one of them. So I talk to no one on this one. But the 915, I agree, it's quite fun to see all the messages flowing in and out. All right, that was my Meshtastic side. And back to Dave, KD7ZYM from 87 NP.
NP, thanks for that. 7ZYM. And Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. So with that, I'm going to move it back up to Ron, KD7QK.
Okay, thank you, Dave. This is KD7QKU. Well, I'm listening only on the television, you guys. I have the 2-meter radio mostly turned off. And James, I noticed that when Lee was on, he didn't have his computer muted, so maybe that's where you were getting the feedback from. And I actually listened to Lee on Discord because I could hear him better than I could over the TV. I guess I don't have any of that stuff. I've been using my iPad on SDR radio, and I can sit out on the patio and I can listen to 20 meters or 10 meters or whatever is available. And of course I can't communicate, but I can listen to them, so that's kind of interesting. I was doing it on Easter Sunday. I was sitting out there when my son came, and he has an iPad, but he didn't know anything about SDR radio, so he was kind of impressed with that. A lot of times I use a station out of Utah. There used to be one in California I used a lot, but I've been using the one out of Utah. So when I first did it, I had a little trouble getting the sound to work, but now I seem to have sound no problem, so that was just kind of fun. It's something to pass the time. Watch the baseball game and listen to SDR radio. Mute the TV and listen to the guys chat on the ham radio. So anyway, my friend in Boise, he's into all the stuff that you guys are into. He keeps up on it, but of course he's considerably younger than I am. I think he's 60 years old, so he's still pretty sharp. Okay, I think that's about it from Bellevue. Nice to hear from everybody. I think that's all I had on my notes here. So it's always fun to see what everybody's playing with. Oh, and I was going to ask Wade, did you go by Jim's house or did you go by Ralph's house? Scott, I guess it is. Scott that lives south of me across the park. And Jim, of course, lives the other direction, north, down towards the ferry, down by the co-op store, and kind of back to the co-op store. So I don't know which one you went to. Maybe you went to both of them. So it'd be interesting to hear. You can probably tell us on Discord. So back to net, KD7QKU.
7 W7.
Well, guys, I wasn't actually expecting to come back on, but yeah, Ron, I sent you a text too, but yeah, it was Jim Hansen. I went and drove by his house over by the co-op, and yeah, his house, it works. So yeah, we'll have to talk to him this coming Saturday. Well, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday when I'm not doing the barbecue thing. Let's see. Yeah, you'll have to remind me the name of the other guy. That I think he said Scott. I don't think I have his call sign, so I might try his house as well just to see if I can get in there. All right. Well, I'll turn it back to Net Control. This is W7ITL. Take it away, Dave.
Take it away, Dave.
W7ITL, thanks for that. Let's go and find James, WU7N. James, what say you?
Dave, and thank you. I think it was Wade that sent me the link for Streamlabs, a live streaming app that I can download on my phone. I think I can definitely do that and get that probably going faster than I can trying to do cardiopulmonary resuscitation on this old Dell Studio XPS here. So I'll definitely do that before the next net Saturday at 8 p.m. and see if I can hit the mountain that way. So let's see. Plans for tomorrow, I'll be going out to Renton Fishing Game with some friends. That's always a good thing to do. Always plenty of work out there and lots of fun. And let's see, looking towards the weekend, I think it's supposed to rain this weekend, but I'm using the weather to the max to try and get some outdoor things done, or at least move some things out of my garage so I can move things around without them getting rained on. So that's always a good thing to use the good weather for while it's here and before it gets blistering hot. Well, it looks like we've just about hit the top of the hour here within 1 minute to the 9 p.m. end time for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Anyone listening, remember, you can join us and see what we're talking about by looking this up on the web. Just type in Western Washington Amateur Television Society and you'll find our site. In the low latency stream, you can see what we're talking about. And you can always join us on this repeater and I'll join the group. So let me turn it back to Dave, our net control for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Go ahead, Dave.
And we'd like Peter is you say 7.08 for the Nets help and win. So on behalf of the Western Society, Net